Hi, it's Jane. Let me see if I can get this a little clearer. Maybe there? I don't know. I hope you guys have a few minutes you can spend with me. I know I need to sit down and relax a little bit. I've been cleaning house and chasing cats, and I'm a little tired now. Today, again, it is WOT WIP and Coffee. And I've got my big cup of coffee. I have cats roaming around who may or may not join us. You never know with these two. I will tell you, Miss Izzy is in heat. They did not expect her to go into heat this soon because he thought she was much younger than what she is. Apparently she is a little bit older than what they think she is. She is small for her size. And Izzy and her brother let me know for sure that they're in heat. She's in heat. The only good thing is I caught it because he happened to try to do the deed, and of course he can't figure out where to put it, so thank goodness for that. But most of the day I have them separated. I have them together right now in the same room. So if I get up and leave real quickly, it's because I'm separating cats. But the way that it is, I am able to lock off one half of the house for one cat and one for the other. And there's a whole lot of caterwauling going on, me included. So I am working on I'm hoping that they're going to wind down and go to sleep. They've been busy all day. I am continuing to work on my sugar blush shawl. And I am at a point now that I'm not sure if I want to finish it when I end this ball, if I want to continue it to make it a little longer. It's just something for me to put over my shoulders when I'm in church, just because my voice is a little hoarse because of the cleaning fluids. With the one paralyzed vocal cords, it doesn't matter what I use, but it just messes up my vocal cords. Whether I just use plain alcohol for cleaning or just plain water, it still messes with my vocal cords. And I've been outside a little bit. It's a very nice day outside. It's almost one of those days where I wish I had screen doors so I could open up the doors. Don't have screen doors, so can't do that. So anyway, I hope you guys have grabbed your coffee and joined me for a little bit. Yesterday I'd watched Lottie talking about her Tunisian project, how the ends aren't coming out right. And I want to assure you, for those of you that are just doing this for the first time, this is where counting is your friend, but don't worry about it. This is a process to learn. You can always rip it out at the end, start over if you want. If you really want to, you can start over and count every row as you go. I will tell you some of the stitches we are using are going to pull those in, and some will pull them out because it is a sampler. But the way that I had planned on working it was so that when we got to the border, that we could fill in those dips and slim down those humps, if you want to call it that. It's a way to fix things. I learned a long time ago because many times at the prayer shawl ministry, I am given pieces of someone's work that is not even, that needs to be filled in, or either that or they expect me to rip them out. I'm too lazy to rip it out, so I will find a way to fill it in. As I told Lottie, my very first Tunisian project looked like a parallelogram. It was awful. It was like this, like that. And, the one thing about Tunisian is it does slant. That is normal for it to slant. Let me get another drink. The batteries on my clicker have died, so I'm going to have to reach up and press it, turn it off. Yippee. And as I was cleaning today, mopping and sweeping, that kind of stuff, I realized I still had some Christmas decorations out, so of course then I had to go put those up. You know how that goes. Then you get down another rabbit hole and there you are. At least that's what I do. I go down rabbit holes all the time. So that's kind of normal for me. I also watched Rose with Rose Likes Yarn. Is that her channel name? Rose Likes Yarn or Rose Loves Yarn? Man, brain cells are not firing correctly today. But I'll link her channel down below, as well as Lottie's. I noticed that Wings has put out a new list. And of course, for the next 2 months, they want dolls. So those are some great things to consider making. If you do crochet dolls, there's a doll that is freely out there. It's called a Weebee, W-E-E-B-E-E. And I think it's Laura Tegman that developed this pattern. But it's a lovely doll to crochet. I'm going to crochet a couple of those, not only for Wings, but also for the Operation Christmas Child boxes for next year. Plus, they come with clothes, so you can include some clothes too. It's always nice for these kiddos, right? Just remember to use different skin tones. This is where the, is it Lion Brand? Came out with the skin tones yarn, I think. Those would be some good ideas to use some of those yarn for those dolls so that you have some different skin tones. You know, America is becoming a very big melting pot. You know, very rarely is there just all white, all black neighborhoods. Now it's a very nice mix, as well as all brown. I know when I was growing up in New Mexico, Roswell, we had a part of town that was called Chihuahuita, which was Little Chihuahua. And it's because there a lot of the Mexican migrants that came were from Chihuahua, Mexico. So they came and they created a nice little neighborhood. Had its own barrio and all kinds of little things there. And so many of the Hispanics lived there for quite some time. And then, of course, Roswell, just like everywhere else, became a melting pot where you have all kinds of races, all kinds of people, which is a great thing to learn. It's great to learn other cultures, I will say this, it does annoy me when people say cultural appropriation, and I'll tell you why it does. My kids and I at Christmas each year, we chose to learn about Christmas traditions from somewhere else, whether it was German, Swiss, Spanish, whatever. And we would immerse ourselves in that, making foods that went along with those traditions, making decorations that went along with that kind of thing. And so I would think that if our family was doing that today, that we'd be accused of cultural appropriation. And I don't think that's it. You know, sometimes it's a good thing to learn about other people's cultures. That way you have an idea of why they do certain things the way that they do. And that's not a bad thing. And if you adopt some of those, I'm not sure why that's considered bad. It just means you're accepting those traditions. So yeah, that's one thing that always drives me nuts about that whole idea of cultural appropriation. I mean, come on. Taco Tuesday is Taco Tuesday. I don't care who you are. And who doesn't love a good taco, right? So yeah, I just think it's a sad thing that we've become more divided than united, it seems, over the past couple of years. And I hate seeing that. I really do. Just saddens me. I don't often get a chance to watch a lot of people with their YouTube videos these days, but I always try to carve out time for Boggy Creek, and it's amazing that this year you have more than doubled the amount of blankets for Boggy Creek. I am glad that Lynette got those patterns, I think from Donna Powers, I think it was, for the different blankets that she did that everybody wanted. That is a great tool for us all to learn and to do new techniques, if you want to call them that. It's a great thing to expand your crochet learning a little bit. Although I do have a friend that she says single crochets and double crochets are all she needs to do. And that's all she does. And, that's fine. Whatever works. As long as she's happy with it. I do like texture with crochet. I do think that YouTube is very valuable for teaching those, because sometimes when you're looking in a book and it's telling you how to do the stitch, but there aren't real clear pictures of where to put your hook, those kind of things, that's where the tutorials on YouTube come in handy, because we're able to actually see them and get a grasp of what we are doing and if we are doing it wrong or not. I had a girlfriend that she knitted, and she'd learned to knit from her mother. And when we were sitting in Naughty Knitters one time, someone said to her, "What kind of way are you knitting? That doesn't look like you're knitting it right." And we got to looking, and she was doing things. She knit into the back leg always. That was the way she knitted her stitch. And if you knit like that, you get a twisted stitch for the most part. But because that's the way she learned to knit, then she learned to purl a different way than we all learned to purl. So we learned something from her, but she also learned that what she had learned was what's called a combination knitter. She was doing combination of stitches that she had learned from her mother. And that's just the way that they had knit all their life. So, it's interesting to see when you can sit down and see how someone knits. I had a girlfriend. She has passed on. She was 97 when she passed away. She was a French war bride. So I found it always fascinating to sit and listen to her stories about World War II and what it was like being in France and meeting her husband for the first time, falling in love with him, then coming across as a French war bride, the stigmatism that came along with it. And of course, family came with her because the U.S. rescued them from French invasions. So, but she knitted a very different way when she first started to knit. She would hold one needle under her arm and knit that way. And that is the way her mother taught her. So it wasn't until she got much older and was working in a yarn shop that she learned there are different ways to knit. So that was somewhat interesting. And the reason we met was she had been away with her granddaughter. They'd gone back to France to visit family, and they'd been away for about 2 weeks. And at the time, we were doing that guidepost t-shirt, T-sweater. We were knitting and crocheting those to send them over to Honduras. And some of the ladies would knit the front, knit and crochet the front, but they wouldn't put them together. So I was asked if I could help put some together, and I did put them together. And she'd come back and she was looking at the sweaters and saw they'd been put together. And the very first thing she did was she stood up and she said, "Who put these together?" And I thought, I wonder what I did wrong. I really got a little scared about that. And I very sheepishly held up my hand and I said, "I did." She walked over and she goes, "You need to teach that stitch to everyone else. I don't know what it is, they all whip stitch. You use the mattress stitch. I'm very proud of you." So it was very interesting, because I really thought that Giselle was going to give me a talking to for what I had done. But she was just, admiring it, and that I had did a stitch that the other ladies hadn't bothered to learn. So, and she also taught us how to knit our panels together so that they do not look like they look like they're all one piece. There is no seam. You can't find the seam. And that is something that I've cherished because that is a very interesting technique to do. You can do it in stockinette as well as garter stitch. You just do it each a little differently. So yeah, it's a great skill that I learned from my new friend at that time. But yeah. Now see, I don't think my edges look all that straight all the time either. So keep at it. Don't be afraid. Keep working on your projects. And I had the cats helping me this morning. I was putting together a notebook for the Bible reading, the New Testament Bible reading that Terry is doing over at Nana's Crochet Ideas. So I was putting something together, and it is a combination notebook. Not only that study, my thoughts, and keeping that journal, but also because in many ways, I have found that I do not always have enough faith in God. So this year, my focus is on trusting God more. So that's part of that journal, and putting in different verses about faith and about trusting God in it as well. So the cats were helping me this morning. And it got rather interesting because in between headbutts and kisses and standing on my shoulder to see what I was doing, occasionally one of the cats would lay right there in the middle of the journal. But that is a process. As always, journals are processes, and they're great tools, and I think we should avail ourselves of them. And I had watched K&K Crochet. I was watching these two talking about keeping track of the projects and those kind of things. And as I was sat there listening to them, I realized I don't really keep a journal per se. I used to write it down in a notebook, but then I wouldn't keep up with it. And I thought that is something I would like to do a little more this year. Keep track of those things. And partly because whenever you see Rose in her yarn yakking videos, she's got all of the labels for whatever project she just finished. Tells you how much she used of each, that kind of stuff. And I thought, I have no idea how much I use on each. And that is something I would like to do. So I am trying to teach myself new tricks. And that gets pretty hard. I turned 65 February the 5th. Yippee! And then I get all those appointments for Welcome to Medicare. Isn't that a thrill and a half, guys? Yeah, just thrilled to death. And I started laughing because I was asking one of my friends, I said, so does your Welcome to Medicare visit, is this the first one where they do the senior test, where they test your memory? Or do they wait until you start having slips? She started laughing. She goes, why? I said, because I'm already having slips. Now, she tells me I'm not having slips. It's just I have too much going on in my head. Sometimes I think that's true. You know, sometimes when I'm trying to sleep, I have to tell my head, shut up. Shut up, brain. We're going to sleep. Not that it always works. So I hope that you guys are getting some of your projects done. I do hope that you're finding time to do them. I'm getting a little bit better on my time with sitting down to work on projects because I find it does help me. It relaxes me. I do sleep better at night when I feel like I've accomplished, maybe even if it's just a row or 2 rows. But I feel like I'm getting somewhere, you know. Sometimes it feels like I'm swimming upstream. You guys ever have that? Anyway, I do hope that you guys will share with me what you're working on. I do have a question. Are you guys monogamous? Only work on one project at a time? Or do you do like I do? I happen to work on one project and then I'll work on another. Then I work on another. That may be why I don't feel like I ever get anything accomplished. It's because I've got too many projects going on. What do you think? But yeah, I'm curious if you guys only work on one project at a time or if you work on multiple projects. So let me know down below. Also, don't forget to go back and watch the video Monday. There is a surprise all the way at the end. Do hope that you guys will participate in that. And like I said, the drawing will be February the 5th on my birthday, probably around 5 o'clock that evening. And so, yeah. That is it. I am going to let you guys go. I have 2 kitties that are sleeping, and I do have some things I need to get done while they're asleep, fast asleep. So I'm going to do that, and I guess I will see you guys again soon. And as always, be a little kinder to yourself, be kind to one another, and I'll see you guys again pretty soon. Bye.